Hello and welcome. It's a pleasure to be making some more content for this channel, and thank you for all of your requests. I read them all, and it makes a difference. So here I am, and I'm in sweaty Bali, and I've just done this practice that you're about to do, and it's a doozy. I've tried to work on targeting this idea of maneuverability in the nervous system. As much as we want to be able to pick things up and move dynamically, we also want to be able to maneuver our way into calming things down in light of that, and vice versa. From calmness, picking stuff up into activation and get going. So we're going to work a little bit on the side bodies. We'll work towards a little posture called Visvamitrasana, a bit of an arm balance, but as always, we've got variations and take everything at your own pace. So we'll start in a seated position. Lovely to be here. Let's begin. And so starting in a seated position together, we'll shut down the eyes and we'll get into a little bit of breathing to begin with. So find a fairly tall spine. You can be cross-legged, you could be kneeling. You might have some props underneath your seat to just make the seated position as comfortable as possible. I'll just take a moment to settle. And so as you find your seat, just start to notice the feeling of the body. And so immediately shifting the quality of your awareness into more of the felt experience of the body. So tuning the mind into sensory awareness. As you start to feel your body, try not to bring any commentary with it. So there's no sense of judgment, there's no sense of criticism, there's just a broadening of your awareness and more of a shift towards an intimacy with the body. And so as we enter into this sort of feeling space, it's in that area that you start to become informed with how the body's feeling. And that's the important information that we need to take into the practice as we start to move dynamically. But firstly, we look to find a sense of coherence and a sense of alignment with the breath. And so shifting your attention into the felt experience of breathing. You're feeling the breath coming in and out of the body. And then we start to become an active participant in the process of breathing. So basically put, start to gently deepen your breath. But as you breathe in, imagine that you can send it down towards your lower back. Let it fill into the sides of the body and then up into the middle of the chest. As you exhale, make it a guided process, so you're guiding the breath out of the body. So lower back, side body, sternum starts to lift a little with the inhale. And the exhale just slows down a little. Try and keep the shoulders completely soft, so the shoulders don't lift at all through this process. And then find some timing with your breathing, just as a sense of rhythm. Breathe in for about 5 or 6 seconds and breathe out for about 5 or 6 seconds. We'll just do this a few more times, just achieving a sense of rhythm more than like perfection, more than exactness with it. Just rhythm. If it's a little shorter, if it's a little longer, all good. Rinse and repeat. And after the next breath, drop the count, but maintain the pace. And then we can really consider the breath as a key component of the alignment in each and every posture. More than that, it becomes a form of continuity throughout the practice. There's this continuity of breath that runs through all the transitions, all the movement patterns. And so the breath is the foundation of that pattern building. And so let's take it into each and everything that we do. Let's go ahead and blink open the eyes and gently raising the arms up towards the ceiling. Nice big stretch upward. And as you exhale, twist over to your right. So as the left hand comes to the knee or the thigh, right hand behind your lower back, and make sure both sitting bones are grounded and rotate through the upper spine. You just take 2 more big breaths here. Nothing too forceful, especially in these initial moments of the practice. Just finding a kind of intelligent edge. And then with an inhale, raise both arms up towards the ceiling, and we do the same to the other side. Over to the left, catch a hold of the knee or the thigh, something to get some traction from. Left hand is behind you like scaffolding for your spine, just propping it up. Find 2 sitting bones evenly planted. Good rotation through the spine. Let's take another 2 breaths here. Again, a little bit of a pull through on the chest. The chest pulls through the shoulders. And then with an inhale, raise both arms up. We're going to go over to the right again. Twist over to the right. This time it's a little different. So catch the knee, catch the thigh, but now the hand behind you, your right arm, reach it up for the ceiling into a bit of a side bend. So again, try and keep both sitting bones on the floor, and even more so, press your right knee out so it kind of anchors you into the right side of your body. In contrast to that, you're leaning over to the left into a nice big side bend, and again, gently does it. Early days yet. Let's take 1 more big breath here. And an inhale to bring both arms back up. Onto the twist on the other side, just as a set-up position. Catch a hold of the knee or the thigh. Left arm now raising up into a bit of a side bend. Not your strongest side bend, but try and make it a one full of integrity. So you're pressing the left knee out, the left sitting bone is heavy, and it's almost like you're counter side bending. So the hips are staying down to the left, and yet the arm and the ribs are reaching over. Another breath here to go. With an inhale, coming back up, raise up the arms, and then roll over your knees, and we'll come into cat-cow. So find tabletop, hands and knees position, and then get straight into the rhythm. As you inhale, press the belly down, tilt the tailbone up, and as you exhale, arch and raise up through the spine. Now let it be a gradually developing movement. So as you inhale to press, you're just finding where the appropriate edges are, and as you arch, nice and smooth, push the spine up between the shoulders. You keep on going, find a good sense of your own rhythm here. Your breath, the pace of your breath is setting the pace of your movement and not the other way around. So inhale to dip and exhale to arch. And you're welcome to make little kind of additional movements with it, little side bends, a kind of snake-like movement through the hips and the side body. We just want to give this very kind of basic movement to the spine, the shoulders, the hips, and also finding some association between the hips, the shoulders, and the spine. Let's take probably just 2 more breaths here. Make it as dynamic or structured as you want it to be. And then nice and gently returning to a neutral spine. Walk your right hand out in front of the left hand. So if you follow your left hand up your mat, right hand reaches out as far as you can, and then start to draw the chest and hips back and down a little. So feeling it into the side body here, we're going to really focus on the side body. And as the right hip pulls back a little bit, some of us might feel it a bit more further towards the hip, some of us maybe a little bit more up towards the shoulder and the side body. If you're familiar, it's the lat region underneath the armpit, connecting down into the side body. Let's take one more big breath here. Expansive breath into the side body rib cage. And then back through to tabletop. Hands and knees position. Left hand walks out in front of the right. And again, pin the hand and drop the chest back. You kind of just figure out your own geometry with this. Maybe for some of us, we're down on the elbow. But sort of pinning the hand and then extending the side body. It takes big, kind of broad breaths into the rib cage. Move the rib cage sideways. Another couple of breaths here. Pretty stretchy shape. Last big breath. Back through to tabletop, hands and knees. We'll come straight up into downward facing dog. Tuck in the toes, lifting up the hips, taking a little bit of movement into that down dog. So let the calves and the hamstrings open, the back of the legs. A little bit of a feeling of the tailbone lifting up as well in that pedaling movement. So we've got some feeling of buoyancy in the hips. We'll just take one more nice long breath here. And then just through a few rounds of rolling plank. So as you inhale, bring the shoulders above the wrists. And as you exhale, go back to downward facing dog. And just two more of those. So the inhale brings you forward. And the exhale takes you back. Last one, forward and back. High plank brings you forward, round and arch through the upper back. And as you lift the hips back up into dog, start to walk the hands backwards towards your feet until you land into a nice loose forward fold at the back of your mat. And you can put as much of a bend into the knees as you want to. You're welcome to catch opposite elbows above the head or just let the arms dangle. I'm going to let them dangle for today, and just a little bit of movement side to side or even forward and back through the feet. Nice and loose through the neck though. Everything's getting heavy in the head and the vertebrae through the neck. One more nice long breath here. And then pull the belly in nice and tight. Roll up the spine all the way through to standing. Reach up and stretch up. And at the top, bring the left hand just down by your left hip. Raise the right arm up nice and high. Squeeze your glutes and lean over to your left. Nice big side bend here. Two big breaths. Hold strong. So now the side body's working a little bit. Inhale, back up. Right hand down the thigh. Left hand up. Reach up, stretch up nice and strongly. So it's more of that upward lift that makes the difference here. And as you inhale, come back up through center. Thread the hands together behind the lower back. Roll back the shoulders and then fold again. Big bend in the knees as the hands come up over the head. Again, softening the neck at the bottom here. And with that little bend in the knees, use it to lift the tailbone and start to straighten the legs just a little bit more. So nothing hectic, nothing too strong. One more breath. And release. Hands to the floor. Again, walk the hands out to plank position. Shoulders above the wrists. This time a little bit more. Once you arrive, turn the heels over to the right so the feet end up staggered side by side. And then lift the hips straight back up into down dog. The inhale brings you forward into high plank. As you turn the heels to the left, don't let your hips sink too far down. Inhale, back up into down dog. Again, a couple more. Inhale, high plank. Heels turn right, obliques lighting up, and then back to down dog. Last one. Inhale to high plank. Heels turn to the left, and then back to downward facing. This time, come into high plank, drop the knees to the floor, and lower the whole body down until you're flat. Once you arrive, take the hands about as wide as your mat. Inhale to lift up the chest into cobra, and the exhale to gently ease the spine and the chest back down. Keep on going. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to take the spine and the chest back down. Keep on going. 2 or 3 more rounds by yourself. Now really try and point your feet hard. Lift the knees up off the ground so the thighs are super active. Probably just down to the last 2 rounds or so. Nice and open chest all the way through. coming down to the floor. Last one, inhale, lift. Exhale to lower back down. And once you're there, push back through to tabletop, come up into downward facing dog, and immediately walk the feet forward towards your hands. Keep the feet separated at the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to stand tall, reach all the way up. Big stretch up. Now at the top, pause. Go ahead and try and lift the heels up off the ground. You're stretching all the way through the front body now. Lift the chest, belly in, glutes strong, and then interlace the hands behind the lower back. One more time. Roll back the shoulders right here on point. Roll back the shoulders. Drop the heels now and fold. Hands coming up over the head. One more time. Little flick up of the tailbone at the bottom of the fold. 2 more breaths. Release. 2 hands to the floor. Inhale to halfway lift. We'll modify a sun salutation. Step your left foot back into runner's lunge and puff the chest forward on fingertips before you step back into downward facing dog, hips up. Inhale through to high plank, come forward. Exhale to chaturanga, bend your elbows. Inhale, up dog, chest pulls through the arms. And exhale to lift the hips up into downward facing dog. 2 big breaths. And then look forward, and you can walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat. Feet coming up. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold again. Inhale to stand tall, reach up, all the way up. Little back bend now. Look for the ceiling. Exhale to fold again, hands coming down. Halfway lift. Exhale to step your right foot back. Puff the chest forward, get stronger and straighter through the back leg. And then step back into down dog, hips up. Inhale, high plank, come forward. Exhale to chaturanga, bend your elbows. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, lifts the hips into downward facing. Breath or 2. And then again, a walk, a step, or a jump. Feet coming forward towards the hands. And inhale to halfway lift as you get there. Exhale to fold again. Inhale to stand tall, reach up, all the way up. Exhale to fold again, hands coming down, and it's going to change. Halfway lift, and now the left foot stepping back. Lower the knee to the floor, raise the chest and arms up into low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Now in this shape, turn the thumbs forward and palms out, and then cross at the wrists. So in this lunge, with the hands and the arms reached up, really try and stretch up through the rib cage. Squeeze your left glute, and then go ahead and lean over to your right. A nice big side bend here. But try and keep the hips steady. Again, squeezing the left glute, belly draws in a little, and then saturate the breath into the lower torso. Palms keep squeezing. We keep breathing. 1 or 2 more here. And then wait for your inhale to bring the chest back through center. Hands release and come to prayer as you turn and twist to your right. Hook the elbow around the knee. Now totally up to you if you want to keep the knee up or down. I'm going to keep it down for today. But keep on pressing into the prayer and twisting a little deeper. So it might even feel like the chest lifts away from the leg, and that's kind of good. We're looking for some spinal extension, some length in the spine. 2 more big breaths. Again, left glute is still strong. Squeezing, sinking the hips. Probably down to the last breath now. Last one, big breath. And release. 2 hands to the floor. Go ahead and pick up the back knee if it's not already. Puff the chest forward on fingertips. And just be really gentle as you start to straighten through the front leg and fold. A couple more like this. Inhale to lunge again. Bend the front knee. Puff the chest out. Exhale, straighten the leg and fold. Last one. Inhale to lunge. Exhale to the fold. This time as you lunge, bend the front knee and turn your whole body to the left-hand side of the mat. So the front foot turns in. Inhale to halfway lift as you get there. And then just start to bend into one knee and then the other, shifting your body weight from left to right. Now, do be gentle your left leg is just a little bit colder than your right one. So don't push it, just mild, conservative movement, side to side. Another breath or two. Keep driving the knees out as you shift the body weight over to one side. And now we're going to walk the hands to the back of the mat. So listen for the voice if you lose the screen. But hands frame your left foot at the back into runner's lunge. Raise your left hand up into simple twist, easy twist. Hold for a moment. And as you're ready, side plank. Left leg steps back on top of the right one. Stack them up, lift the hips, hold. 2 big breaths. Now do your very best here to starfish the legs. Lift the left leg up, hug the knee to the chest, and step that left foot somewhere between the hands up your mat. Drop the back knee down, raise the arms up. Similar to the other end, or exactly the same actually. Turn the fingers forward or the thumbs forward, cross the wrist, touch the palms, lift the chest, elbows back a little, big side bend to the left. Palms keep on pressing. We're part active, part surrendered here. Breathing, holding. There's space being allowed to happen in the body. We're sort of allowing for space. Saturate the lower belly with breath. 2 to go. Inhale. Back up. Hands to prayer. Turn left. Elbow around the knee. Sink the hips a little. Squeeze the glute. Keep it tight. And then chest rotates a little deeper. Knee up or knee down, both welcome. Holding, breathing, staying. Slower breath. Exhale, especially in focus, to slow down. Probably just 2 more there. Release. 2 hands to the floor. Pick up the back knee if it's not already. Puff the chest forward on fingertips. And exhale to straighten through the front leg and fold. Couple more. Inhale to lunge. Exhale to the fold. Last one. Inhale, lunge. Exhale to the fold. This time take the lunge. Turn to the right. So walk the hands back down the mat. Turn the front foot in or the left foot in now. Take a halfway lift. And again, we're just moving a little from side to side. Possibly going a little bit deeper now with a bit more symmetrical heat in the body. Shifting left to right, side to side. Kind of keep some length at your lower back so you're not collapsing in your lower back. Breath or 2 more now. And then walk the hands back to the original top of the mat, over to the right. Step up to the top of the mat and inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold again. Inhale to stand tall, reach right up. Little back bend might be nice. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale to fold straight back down, hands to the floor. A flow now. Inhale to halfway lift. And step or jump straight back into chaturanga. Bent elbows. Inhale finds up dog, chest pulls through. And the exhale to downward facing, hips up. 2 big breaths more. And then a walk, a step, or a jump to a squat. Feet outside your hands, all the way up. Sit the hips down nice and low, chest up. Doesn't matter if the heels are lifted or not. Keep the chest lifting, shoulder blades squeezing back. Looking for a nice tall spine, open chest here. 2 more big breaths. And as the hands come down to the floor, step your left foot back. So you're in some kind of lizardy lunge here. So the front foot slightly turned out to the side. Left hand about as wide as your mat. Raise your right arm up towards the ceiling. Big breath in. And exhale to thread the needle. Dive the right arm under the left armpit. Drop the chest right down. Inhale, open back out, keep moving. Exhale and thread the needle. Diving under, drop the chest right down. Inhale, open again. Exhale, 2 hands on the floor. Lift the front foot up and out into a 3-legged dog. take a bend into the knee, lift the hip a little higher. And as you exhale, find a fallen triangle. Right knee to left elbow. Kick that leg out to the left-hand side of the mat. Turn the back heel down and raise your left hand up. Now, really push into the back foot. Lift the hips. Take another breath or two. Keep lifting, lifting, lifting. Left hand down. Right leg comes up and out once again. So just gently step that foot somewhere between the hands. Turn the back heel down. Halfway lift, get the chest off the thigh. And then start to send your right hip back as you straighten through the front leg and fold. We bring some softness back into the breath after a bit of a push with the movement. So always this ability to oscillate between activity and rest, or a bit of effort, a bit of softness. So releasing the shoulders, the neck, back thigh remaining strong, front big toe nice and grounded. 2 more big breaths here. And with an inhale, bend the front knee and come up into crescent lunge. So lift the back heel in that process. Chest and arms raise up. As you get here, bend your left elbow, take it behind the head, right hand up on top. Lift the head a little further, squeeze the left glute, belly in, and lean to your right. Chest kind of lifting a little away from the hips, even though you're bending to the side. Steady legs, strong through the left glute. 1 more big breath here. Stay with it. And then a gentle transition to warrior 2. As you release the left arm, sweep it down and back. Open the arms out to a T. Back heel turns down. And immediately straighten the front leg and reach up. And then come back through warrior 2 on your way to side angle. So either elbow to the front knee or hand to the block or the floor. But left arm reaching down towards the floor. And then over the head into extended side angle. Now I'm going to place my elbow on the knee just to emphasize this next bit. Really turn the shoulder, the top shoulder, up towards the ceiling. So there's a feeling of rotation on the chest. Maybe the gaze goes up if the neck is okay. All good if you want to look down. Back leg is rock solid here. Thigh, glute, anchor the back foot to the floor and take 2 more big breaths. And as you straighten through the front leg, lift up the chest, flip the front palm, right hand up and back, reach up, 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 open the ribs. Back to a T shape with your arms for triangle now. It might be nice to shorten up the stance a little bit, but let the hips sink back, belly in. Right hand coming down, left hand moving up. So maybe we're on the shin, the block, or the floor, but we're looking for the side body to be fairly straight and parallel with the floor. Now with this, keep the back leg sturdy, left glute, and just like the last shape, reach your left arm up over the head. Palm down. Two more breaths. Left hand to the floor. Turn the front foot in and we're back on the side of the mat now. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen out, and just a nice deep forward fold. So as the chest comes down, shift a little bit of weight into the toes. Maybe you like to grab the back of the heels or walk the hands between the legs. 3 more breaths. Belly in, tailbone up. Last breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk the hands to the back of the mat, all the way to the left. Very similar to before, raise a left hand up and either find side plank or wild thing directly. If it's wild thing, step your left foot straight over the leg, rotate the hips and lift the chest. Couple big breaths. Last big breath now. And then one big step, left foot back between your hands. And we find Skandasana at the other end of the mat. Drop the hips to the right heel. Original top of the mat and lift up the chest. Maybe hands at prayer, maybe hands on the floor, but lift. 2 more big breaths. Left ankle, nice and strong. Toes up, thigh active, shin active. Last big breath. And again, turn to the top of the mat, the original top. Runner's lunge, and very simply, step up, feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold again. Inhale, stand tall, reach up, all the way up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Right knee comes in towards the chest. So as the right knee comes up, 2 choices. We can grab a hold of the right knee with the right hand, or catch a hold of the big toe. Either way, raise the left arm up and get tall. So the left glute squeezes, hip hugs in, belly in, and either kick the heel or pull the knee tight. Either way, hold strong in the left-hand side of your body and take the right leg out to the right, knee or foot. Holding, breathing, 2 more big breaths only. Left side is strong here. Last breath. Knee to chest, hands to prayer, hold it, squeeze it, suck it in, last breath. And then foot down, arms up, big breath in. Exhale to fold. We come through a flow. Inhale, halfway lift. Step or jump, straight back, chaturanga. Inhale finds up dog. Exhale finds down dog, hips up. Another breath or 2 here. And then feet to the outside of the hands, into the squat. Sit the hips down nice and low. Chest up, belly in. Brief pause, 2 more breaths. Hands down. Step your right foot back into a lizardy kind of lunge. So left foot stays oriented outwards. Right hand as wide as your mat. Left arm up. Big breath in. Exhale to thread the needle. Left arm dives in. Inhale. Open out. Exhale. Thread the needle. Last one. Inhale. Open. Place the hand on the ground. Front foot lifting up and out into 3-legged dog. Bend at the knee. Lift the hip. Nice and big. 1 big breath. Exhale to fall in triangle. Left knee to right elbow. Kick it out to the side. Right hand raises up. Lift the hips. Elevate. Hold for another breath or 2. Press, press, press. And then come out. Right hand down. Left leg up. Gently step that foot in between your hands. Ground to the back heel. Straighten through the front leg. But take a halfway lift at some point there. Let the left hip sink back a little and fold. Breathing. This kind of play with the upward and downward heartbeat. It elevates for a little bit and we look to pull it back down. And once it's settled, we pick it back up. But this play between kind of these polarizing properties of the body and our ability to maneuver in and out of rest and activation. And we stimulate the nervous system in really positive and balancing ways. 2 breaths to go. Next inhale. Crescent lunge. Might have to extend the stance a little. Chest and arms raise up. Bend the front knee. Get grounded through the feet. Set up your stance. Belly in, glute on. Bend your right elbow behind the head. Left hand up on top. Chest and head lift. And then go ahead, lean left. Hold. Breathe. Welcome to sink a little, but keep this feeling of tucking the tailbone. Not too much, just that direction. Another couple of breaths. Hang strong. Last one, big breath. And like an elephant's trunk, swing the right arm back and open out into warrior two. Back heel turns down, might extend the stance again and flip the front palm. Reach up, straighten through the front leg, and then come back through warrior two on your way to side angle. Elbow to knee or hand to the floor. Right arm sweeps down. Give the shoulders some nice space to come into the extension. Reaching the right arm up over the head. Turn the chest up towards the ceiling. Back leg is rock solid. We're looking for this long line through the side body, down to the ankle. We take breath. So it should be a little bit, activating on the side body here. We're stretching and we're strengthening all at once. Another breath or two. Hips sinking. Start to straighten your front leg as you lift the chest, stand up, flip the front palm and reach up and back. Back to a T shape with the arms on our way to triangle, Trikonasana. Let the hips sink back. Left hip sinks back. Left hand down to the shin, block or floor. And as you get the little turn on the chest up to the ceiling, then reach the right arm up over the head. A decent 3 breaths here, so steady and slow, conscious and rhythmic. Last breath. Sweep the right hand down, turn the left foot in, and so we're facing the side of the mat once again. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale to fold in, wide-legged forward fold. Maybe it's the ankles, maybe we walk the hands between the legs. A little bit of weight's there in the toes, but feel like the tailbone and the sitting bones are lifting up. The back of the legs extend through the hips. 2 more big breaths. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk the hands to the back of the mat. Runner's lunge finds simple twist. Left arm, no, not left, right arm, there it is. Right arm reaches up. And then as you're ready, side plank or wild thing direct. Step back, rotate the hips, lift the chest, hold for a breath or two, glutes squeezing, chest lifting, holding, power, big breath. Next inhale, step your right foot back between your hands. Skandasana at the other end. It's a half squat. Sink your hips to your left heel. Chest lifts up. And take some generous breath there. Hands at prayer or hands on the floor for more balance. Both are welcome. But get that left, the back leg, the right leg nice and tight. Ankle, shin, thigh, glute even, squeezing a little bit. We take a couple of big breaths. Just feel nice and strong on that straight leg. Breath or 2 more. There it is. Walk the hands to the left all the way back to the top of the mat. And as you get there, step up. Feet together. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold again. Inhale to stand up tall, reach up and stretch up. Exhale, hands to prayer at heart center. Left knee coming up in towards the chest. Either grab the knee or maybe the big toe, but get tall in the right side. That's the actual key. So as you get tall and lifted, either kick or pull the knee in an uncomfortable amount. And let's have a look at that. So squeezing it up and in. Shoulder blades squeeze back. We get tight, we get lifted, holding. And then as you're ready, take the left leg to the left. Still squeezing if you've got the knee. Couple of big breaths. Shoulder is working. Right arm is just where you need it, just like a tightrope walker. Just use it for balance. Another breath probably here. Stay with it. Back through to center with the knee. Hands to prayer. Hold it. Squeeze it. One last breath. Foot down. Arms up. Big breath in. Little back bend might be nice. And then fold forward. And we come into a flow. Inhale. Halfway lift. Step or jump back, chaturanga, bent elbows. Inhale, up dog, chest through. Exhale to downward facing, hips up. Breath or two. So last little push here, last little bit of effort. So an option for something called Visvamitrasana, but let's go through it. Right leg raises up. Right knee to left elbow. Now as the back heel turns down, hug the knee into the chest, and we can stay here and raise the left arm up, or take the left hand to the top of the foot, catch a hold, pull the knee into the arm and kick. Left arm coming up over the head. We hold, we breathe, we stay, push the ground hard. Maybe the legs a little more out to the side, that's okay. Stay for one more big breath. And then find three-legged. Left hand down, right leg up into half pigeon. Right shin up behind the wrists. Chest lifts as the back leg slides back. Not the longest half pigeon, but I think probably a well-deserved one. So lift the chest and bow forward as the shoulders release and relax. 5, maybe 6 or 7 slow, gentle breaths here. We pick it up and we pull it down, but both of these important activities of the body are conscious here. Heart rate slowing through an extended exhalation. A swelling belly and lower back. Not to push your belly out, just that there's some freedom there for the belly to be able to move. Last couple here. Back to downward facing dog. Chest lifts up, hands to the floor. We can just step the right foot back. A very optional vinyasa flow. If you want to do something else like a three-legged dog, a little bend in the knee, that might be nice to give it a kind of release. We'll set it down and let's give this little arm balance on the other side a go. So let's go together. Left leg raises up. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Back heel turns down, hug the knee in nice and tight, and grab the foot if you want to, and kick either out to the side or pull it in tighter and bring the leg towards the top of the mat. Arm over the head, holding, breathing. Back leg is powerful here. No worries if it's a bit out to the side. Stay for another big breath. Come out of there. Right hand down, left leg up. Exhale through to half pigeon. Left shin up behind the wrists. Really try and sink the hips back and down first. So get that nice anchor, lift through the chest, and then bow. Chest coming down, folding in. Nice, steady, slow, easy breath. And so looking for places in the body that you can settle. Eyes and jaw are a good place to check on first. They're a little more accessible than deep into your left hip, you know. So there's just this little environmental shift that starts to take place. But again, it's all conscious stuff. You're making neurological connections to how you hold your body. And that's a big part of the practice. We're patterning the mind, entraining it to the breath, slowing things down when things are a little tricky, a little uncomfortable. This is powerful stuff to take off the mat. Probably 3 more slow breaths here. Last breath or two. And again, welcome to do something individualized, vinyasa flow or a three-legged dog there. But if you want to skip all of that, we're going to come to a seated position nonetheless. So you might just sit down onto your left hip, swing the back leg around, and then from there, once you get there, no rush at all. Take the feet about mat width apart, hands behind you, and just dropping the knees a couple of times from side to side. Little windscreen wipe. Another breath or two there. And then bring the soles of the feet to touch, and we'll practice Baddha Konasana. So as you walk the sitting bones back, you might grab a hold of the shins or the feet. No worries if the knees are lifted. We still try and lift through the lower back in the initial stage to transition in. So as the chest pulls up, start to bow forward and down, any amount. And for some of us, it's just a hang of the head. That's good stuff. We're just throwing a little body weight forward. But if you're going a little deeper, walk the sitting bones back more, heels tighter, a little bit of pressure on the elbows is welcome, but not so much pressure that the hips fight back. And then wherever you might be in this posture, squeeze a little through the heels, just 5-10%, just almost a suggestion of squeezing the heels together. And then chill out as much as you can through the shoulders, relax through the shoulders. Flood the lower back with breath, flood the lower back. So there's a bit of compression in the belly, and the breath's going to have to find space to spread around that compression. No lift of the shoulders when you breathe in. They stay relaxed. Breath or two more. With an inhale, lifting up, lifting out. Set the feet on the ground at about hip width apart, bending your knees. Place the hands behind the hips and roll back the shoulders for reverse tabletop. And so your hands might turn out to the sides a little bit, that's good. Roll back the shoulders, roll them back. Lift the chest, lift the hips, squeeze the glutes, but continue to roll the shoulders out as you press the chest up between the shoulders. Breathing. Chin can be in or chin can be open, but extend the head if it's opening up. 2 more big breaths, stay with it. Glutes strong, chest up, hold. And release. Come on down nice and slow. Take the legs straight out in front of you. We can put as much of a bend in the knees as you want here, but lift through the lower back and start to bow forward. Not too long in this one, so do make it a little gentler than stronger, a little less strict maybe, and maybe that does mean bending the knees. But let the shoulders soften out. Let the breathing settle. Extended exhalation. Just 2 more breaths, short hold in this one. Inhale, lift up the chest, bend your knees, grab a hold, roll down onto the back. As you get there, set the feet on the ground and drop the knees from side to side, from left to right. And from there, a round of bridge pose. If you want to take supported bridge and you've got the props or even just a couple of cushions, take them underneath your tailbone. But if you want to do it actively, tilt the tailbone up, lift the hips up, and hold. Welcome to take it towards wheel. I'm going to leave it out for today and Just concentrate on squeezing the glutes, drawing the belly in, and hold for a good 5 breaths here. We create this little feeling of tuck at the tail. But what encourages that is the drawing in of the belly. More than that, up towards the ribs. Add in one little element here. Try and draw the heels back so you feel your hamstrings, the back of the legs light up, the heels drag back on the floor. Take a couple of big breaths. Release. Come on down, nice and slow. Again, knees dropping side to side, left to right. And then lifting the legs up towards the ceiling. Now you might just bring your hands underneath the outside of the hips. Beautiful shape here, Viparita Karani. You're welcome to take it up into shoulder stand, headstand if it's there for you, but some kind of inversion. Just with the legs up is just delightful at this point, I think. So feel free to not push, but welcome to as well. You've got the energy, go for it. I'm done. We keep the legs up. We carve out a pathway for Savasana. We let things settle and soothe. No real tension in the lower belly space. Breath or two more here. And then a little lift of the hips to release the hands. And then roll down. Feet coming down. Again, take the feet wide. Drop the knees from left to right. If you did shoulder stand or even plow, halasana, you're welcome to take it into fish as a counter pose. Even just another bridge might do the trick. You feel things out. If there's something your body's asking for before Shavasana, go for it. I love a happy baby. We can grab the outer blades of the feet. Just a hug of the knees towards the chest might be good too. It can be a playful happy baby. It can be a more static happy baby, as you wish. Couple of breaths here. And then release. Come into Shavasana as you're ready. Get yourself comfy. Really try and give yourself this time and space for Shavasana. Get the head comfy, shoulders comfy, hips comfy. In Shavasana, kind of pull back your attention a little bit. Try not to get caught up in anything. Things will look to bait you. Thoughts, sensations, ideas, emotions. I mean, if something's terribly important, definitely attend to it. But if it's not so important for this moment, let things settle. And start to notice all the contact points between the back of the body and the floor. And imagine that you can feel all these contact points at once. I mean, you can. But let your attention spread broadly through the body. So rather than having a specific and localized attention, you've got a broad and spacious attention. So you kind of feel this widening of your awareness to take in more of the moment. No effort is required here. deep feeling of stillness that goes beyond the body. You start to notice that stillness and quietness as being an inherent quality of just who you are. It's always sitting in the background. And here we let it blaze forth, this open, free, spacious awareness. Take as long as you can here in Savasana. Give yourself a good opportunity to rest, and when you're ready, start to make some gentle movements. Awaken slowly with a stretch and gently make your way out. Thank you for the practice together. See you soon.